Welcome to The Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah.
Hi, I'm Ana Golja, and I am the star and a producer on The Cuban, which is about a young Afghan immigrant who starts her first job in a nursing home and there meets this enigmatic patient with Alzheimer's named Louis, played by Louis Gossett Jr., and she discovers that music can help bring back his memories. So they build this really beautiful friendship through the film. So through their relationship, my character Mina discovers that Luis was a once famous musician back in Cuba, in Havana. So we spend a lot of the film in his brain, in Luis's brain, and in his memories. So we go back to Cuba in the 1940s and 50s with these flashbacks, and so they're very vibrant and very fun. Lots of music and very visually stimulating. So we shot all of the, I guess if you want to call it the things that are very muted in Toronto, and the sequences, the flashback sequences we shot in Havana. So we were there for a month. Crazy experience. There was no way that anybody could have been really prepared for what we went through filming there, but it's a beautiful country. The people are incredible, and we made memories to last a lifetime. I had been multiple times actually with my family just for vacations, but obviously this trip was a very different. It was a different capacity, so learned a lot, that's for sure. And I think that's really what added to the authenticity of those sequences, is just being there and having real Cubans and the real musicians there. And even when we were developing the film, we were meeting with a lot of prominent figures in the Cuban community here in Toronto, just to make sure that we were very accurate with the way that they were being displayed and the way that we were representing the culture. When the team and I were developing the storyline for The Cuban, we wanted to make sure that we captured the real essence of Canada. Being Canadians and making this film in Canada and having the support of the Canadian government and all that lovely stuff. We wanted to make sure that we were being very accurate to the world that we live in here, and it's incredibly diverse. So through our research, we found that a lot of Cuban musicians left Havana or Cuba in general and came to Toronto. Like, who would have known? But that's something that we discovered and was really fascinating. And we wanted to, we wanted another culture that was obviously very different, but very similar in a lot of ways. So again, through our research, we discovered that there was also a very prominent Afghan community here in Toronto, and we realized through development that there are a lot of similarities between the cultures. Maybe not on, at first glance, but when you look into their histories and their true essence as people, there's a lot of similarities. So that's kind of why we went with the Cuban and Afghan aspects. And I feel like Afghanistan is often stereotyped. When you think of Afghanistan, you automatically think of war. You think of a desert. You think of, not the greatest things. But we really wanted to shine a light on how beautiful their culture is and how beautiful and wonderful they are as people. And they have a really incredibly rich history. So we wanted to really shine a light on that. Mina's journey in this film, she really has an arc, and it's really beautiful. I think the way that our writer Alessandra Piccione kind of laid it all out. you see her grow from a timid girl into, you see her find her voice, and you see her find out what she stands for, and why she does what she does, and you really see her grow, and I think that's one of my favorite things about Mina's her journey. By the end of the film, she's a young woman who has a voice and isn't afraid to use it. Sure. Definitely lots of similarities. Obviously, by the end, like near the end of her journey, the way that she stands up for herself is something that I really resonated with. And I think any young woman, really, that journey of finding your voice and figuring out what you stand for and what you believe in. I think it's a very universal theme, but yeah, we had very parallel journeys in that way. There's a lot of really bomb women doing that right now, but the experience was definitely more than I ever thought it would be. And I say this kind of often, that if I had known what producing entailed, I don't think I would have ever done it. I think I was too green to know any better. But, I had an incredible team around me, both Sergio, Alessandra, and my other partner, Taras. They were really there when I had to have my acting hat on. So every day I would be debriefed in the morning as a producer, and then I'd have my actress hat on until lunch. And then at lunch, I would be debriefed on everything that was happening that I wasn't privy to. And then I'd go back into my acting mode after that. So we got into a routine that worked for everyone. But obviously, I could not have done it alone. It's a lot of work. Of course, very overwhelming, but very enjoyable. As an actor, sometimes you think that you're the most important person on a set. It's like, I am the movie. It's like, well, you're not. I mean, you kind of are the movie, but you're not really the movie. It really does take a village, and that's something that I really learned through the producing. Just truly the scope of the work and the crews, and how many variables there are to having an actor on a set. There were so many days that we thought we would lose Giacomo or lose Lauren or Sheree because of minor scheduling issues. And there's just so many factors at play. So I definitely have a new appreciation and respect for producers and everyone behind the scenes. I did get the producing bug. I know I said if I knew any better, I wouldn't have done it, but now I know better and I still want to do it. Yes, I'm currently developing a feature film just strictly as a producer. And it's called Bricks, and it's based on the book by Timothy S. Lane called Rules of Becoming a Legend. And it's about a young basketball prodigy who was dealing with the loss of his mom and little brother in a tragic car accident. So it's about how, sometimes things happen in life and you can't deal with the grief in a healthy way. So there's a mental health aspect to it, and it's not your typical sports drama. So initially, when I developed it with Taras, it was supposed to be a grandfather and a grandson. There was no Mina at all. And when I pitched it to Sergio, the director, and also one of the producers, he was like, "Why aren't you starring in this movie? Why does it have to be a boy and his grandfather? Why can't it be a girl?" And so if it weren't for Sergio really twisting my arm and pushing the boundaries in every respect, we would have had a very different movie, and I wouldn't have been in it. As the process of getting Lou specifically was so long, initially we were making a short film, and Sergio really wanted Lou. He was the end all be all. So we did everything and anything to get him on board. And because of that, I felt like I already knew him even before we started working together. You know, we had met up quite like numerous times, and spoke very often on the phone. So when it came to actually working with him, my nerves and my anxiety weren't quite what they were initially. So I had that advantage when I was working with Lou, and he has this beautiful gift of just making everyone feel at ease and so comfortable. He's very charming and hilarious. So working with him was an absolute delight. He's the ultimate pro, and he's a legend, you know? So he brought so much to the table, and I'm just so grateful that I got to work with him. But the whole cast was fantastic. Sheree, obviously a powerhouse of an actress and of a human being. She's absolutely lovely. Lauren Holly also is wonderful in the film and such a joy to work with. Giacomo Gianotti, who plays Chris. We had a lot of fun and a lot of awkward moments because I had to shoot my first love scene ever, and that was with him, and he was very respectful and such a gentleman. So yeah, I'm just so lucky. We had an incredible cast. Oh, I would say pretty much every day shooting in Cuba. You know, we would. I just remember when we first got there, our crew didn't even know what the film was about and what we were doing. They had no clue. So I just remember our incredible cinematographer, Celiana. She's Mexican, so she obviously speaks Spanish fluently, and she essentially verbally translated the entire script for our crew in Cuba so that they understood, you know, what film we were making and all the nuances and all that stuff. So that was probably one of the funniest days for me. Yeah, we were very, very lucky. It would have been a very different situation if we didn't have her. Oh, the costumes were a dream, you know, especially on an indie budget. You would think that doing somewhat of a period sequences would be very difficult, and for sure it was. And so hats off to our incredible costume designer, Kristen Somborak. She did a fantastic job in bringing all these looks together. And yeah, we have what I call our hero dress, which is when we go into the flashback sequences, we see Mina as Luis's former flame in Cuba. So that's why she has the 1950s dress on, and there's lots more of that. Yes, actually, we did our kind of premiere here in Toronto on Monday, and that was the Lavazza Drive-In Film Festival, and that was the first time we had seen our film on a drive-in big screen, and it was such a cool experience, especially because of the flashback sequences back to the 50s. It felt so natural, and it felt like a really good fit to experience the Cuban at a drive-in. Very cool. Oh, I mean, it seems to be the only way to see a new movie. So absolutely, I want that experience. I love Netflix and all of the streamers, and power to them, but I'm getting kind of sick of my home. So I want to get out. I'm not sure. Possibly, for sure, there's a possibility of that happening again. But kind of the focus for me the next little while is my music as an artist, and the producing. Yeah, I actually did know how to figure skate before that. I figure skated when I was a kid, took lessons, did the whole thing. And I leading up to the film, I obviously needed a bit of a refresher, and so I did quite a bit of the skating in that. But for obviously like the sow cows and the hydroplane, all that kind of stuff, I had a double for that. I got into acting kind of by fluke. I grew up dancing starting when I was 5 years old. And when I was 9, my mom sent me to this spring break camp that had, so I mostly went for the dance program. Um, and the director of the acting program said I should pursue acting and I was talented, this, and that. And I was bored out of my mind. I didn't like it initially, but he sent me to this international talent showcase, and there I did very, very well. And an agent called and said that she wanted to represent me. So my parents and I said, okay, sure, let's try it, see what happened. The first audition I had, I booked, and pretty much my first day on set is when I realized that I love this. Absolutely. I got a lot of wonderful opportunities as an actor on that show. They really put my character through the ringer, and then of course the show being on in 200 and something countries, it definitely gave me a lot more exposure. So I would say Degrassi for sure is responsible for bringing my career to that next level. Gosh, I have so many people that I want to work with. Obviously, Meryl Streep is high top on my list as far as actors go, or actresses. Filmmakers, I'm a huge fan of Damien Chazelle, and obviously he's a very musical person as well. So I think it would be the ultimate dream to work with him for sure. I would say that the message I want people to take away from the film is that we need to respect our elders, and we need to take care of them. We need to be patient with them, and show them all the love that they deserve. We take them for granted sometimes, and we don't appreciate the wisdom and stories that they have to share. So I think it's high time that we start doing that, especially through this pandemic that has obviously affected our aging population the most. Two films coming out at some point later this year. Because of COVID, I'm not sure what's happening right now, but one is called Drama Drama, and that's a teen musical, which is super fun, super catchy songs. And then I have another film called I Do or Die, which is a very, very different film to Drama Drama. It's quite as serious as the name.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.